The group that will be discussed in this presentation is the LGBT community.
Listed on the slides is the definition of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, and how they identify themselves within the community. It is important to note that these are not the only ways that a patient might identify themselves in regards to sexuality and gender. For the purpose of this presentation, we are discussing this group as a singular unit and community, but be wary of constantly linking these groups together. When you view sexuality as fluid and not strictly a male or female option, you see sexuality as a multifaceted identifier that incorporates many components such as gender identity, sexual orientation, biological sex, and gender expression. Viewing sexuality along a spectrum allows for movement within these identifiers throughout one's life and helps people not feel restricted to binary roles. This view has gained increasing popularity outside of the LGBT community because, for example, some heterosexual females do not always have a strictly feminine manner, and vice versa for males. Spectrum sexuality is more inclusive and a more accurate way of classifying or identifying oneself. On this slide, the gender bread man diagram and spectrums listed are helpful for understanding the terminology and movement within the sexuality spectrum. Gender identity is all about how you, in your head, think about yourself and is displayed as the brain within the gender bread diagram. It is described as how you internally interpret the chemistry that composes you. As you know it, do you think you fit better into the societal role of a woman or a man, or do neither ring absolutely true for you? Biological sex refers to your chromosomal makeup, your sexual organs, and your hormones, and is listed as physical sex in the diagram, indicated by the blue rectangle. Gender expression comes from your outward expression to the world, depicted as the green box in the diagram. Sexual orientation is about who you are spiritually, physically, and emotionally attracted to, and is depicted as a red heart in the diagram.
Here's a clip from the TV series Modern Family.
They offered me a bouquet, Mitchell.
Which you accepted.
Why can't you ever take my side? They think of me as a woman.
Cam, no, come on, we're just a new type of family. You know, they don't have the right vocabulary for us yet. They need one of us to be the mom.
So why does it have to be me? Do I wear a dress?
Well,
That's a nightshirt.
it's kind of satiny.
What are you saying?
Come on, you know.
No, I don't know.
All right, if I'm thinking about it, of the two of us, if I had to pick, I might say that you're slightly mommer.
Excuse me, can you throw that ball?
Can I throw a ball? You don't think I can throw a ball?
That's not what he said.
No, apparently this gentleman doesn't think I can throw a ball.
Well, that's not what he said.
You don't think I can throw a ball? Well, let's find out. Oh,
Oh, God, he looks old.
sorry.
Hands.
Sorry.
There you go.
As you can see from the Modern Family clip, there may be times where you may not know how to properly address an individual from the LGBT community. However, it is important to try to educate yourself about this topic. If you are in doubt about how to classify an individual or use proper terminology, it may be the best just to ask the person. For example, in the video clip, people at the school were trying to be inclusive with Cam by giving him flowers, and Cam was offended. If others would have asked Cam about their new type of family, the situation could have been avoided. Be mindful and careful when interacting with LGBT individuals in any location, especially in the clinic. Some terms such as faggot or dyke are derogatory. Here's a list of additional terms for your reference.
Although there are many advancements in the access of healthcare for the LGBT individuals, there are still many different social norms that keep the LGBT community from accessing their healthcare options. As Kirsten mentioned, there are certain terms that are considered acceptable to use when discussing and interacting with the LGBT community. The main reason that the LGBT community does not take advantage of healthcare benefits that they are entitled to is because they feel as though they are looked down upon and negatively judged for their personal life decisions. This is an issue that must be addressed by the APTA so that we, as astute practitioners, can provide the highest level of care to members of the LGBT community.
There are 36 states in the United States that have legalized gay marriage through court decision, state legislature, or popular votes. Here's a list of those states. In 12 states, gay marriage is illegal. This is represented by the blue states in the map. In many of these states, appeals are in progress to try to legalize gay marriage in the future.
For the first time in 2013, the National Health Interview Survey included an identity component of the sample adult's sexual orientation.
This slide shows their research findings. A key part from this slide is that 1.1% of the people who participated did not know how to answer. Also, significant differences were found in health-related behaviors among people who identified themselves as straight, gay, or lesbian, or bisexual. Thirdly, a higher percentage of adults aged 18 to 64 who identified themselves as bisexual experienced more psychological distress in the past 30 days than people who were straight. Another interesting fact was that gay or lesbian or bisexuals had a higher percentage of adults who were current cigarette smokers compared to those that were straight. Along with that, there was a higher alcohol consumption within the gay, lesbian, or bisexual community when they were compared to people that were straight. When searching the APTA website, we were unable to find any official information given by the APTA. However, we did find these viewpoints from APTA members. Here is a list of our sources.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the roundtable discussion about the LGBT community and physical therapy.
So what's the best way as practicing PTs that we can have a successful professional relationship with the LGBT community?
One way we can do this is by clinics having intake forms that are open to all types of people. So instead of just having male or female as an option, you could allow a blank space or another option so people can write in whatever they prefer to be categorized as.
Yeah, like the intake form, you can give ideas of some of the questions you may need to ask your patients, and it'll give you some answers to private questions without having to come out and ask them.
Yeah, and being sure to use gender-neutral terms, like instead of saying, asking questions about a husband or wife, being sure to use the word spouse or partner. Okay, guys, so what about a situation where we're in, like, the open community room at a physical therapy clinic, and we have someone come in from the LGBT community, and another patient is upset about it, doesn't agree with their
Personal life choices.
Yeah, their personal life choices, and they are very vocal about it, and it's causing some tension in the room. What do you guys think you would do about it?
Probably want to remove that patient from the room.
Which one?
The one that's causing the issue. If everybody else is all right with it, then why not get them into a private room and sit them down and be like, listen, I understand that's how you feel, but
This is a
it's
clinic.
a public place,
Yeah.
and everybody's entitled to have and do whatever they want to do.
Every clinic should be open to have any type of individual. It doesn't matter. They're there for therapy, not to express their beliefs.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you don't act like you're going to punish the person who, isn't part of the LGBT community, because they have just as much right to have rehab than anybody else. So it's a good idea that if you are going to have to remove somebody, maybe just for the sense of the environment, remove the person that is honestly, acting out and making it uncomfortable.
So another interesting thing was just that the APTA website didn't have actual guidelines for the LGBT community at all. It was just weird that it was all just viewpoints, nothing else really besides that. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I guess that could be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, we're not pushing people into groups and judging them, and kind of just taking physical therapy and being like, listen, it doesn't matter what kind of patient we have, we're still going to treat them all the same.
Yeah, but in the same way, some of the clinicians, it sounded like from the quotes that we found, are actually kind of calling for the APTA to kind of come out maybe with a few guidelines or just a stance on important issues related to the LGBT community. So that's definitely something that the APTA should probably have on its docket or something coming up.
Okay, so another scenario that I think we need to talk about is if you are a practitioner and you don't believe that being gay is acceptable, how do you deal with a patient who comes in and is gay?
Well, I feel like it comes back to those professional behaviors and just having a respect for the patient and as a person, and just it shouldn't be about what their choices are per se, but just respecting who they are, no matter what their choice is, whether it be this or anything else. It's just it just comes back, I don't know, it sounds stupid, but it just comes back to that basic respect.
And also, I think you still need to be personal with the patient without pushing your personal beliefs on them or that affecting the patient-clinician relationship.
And I think that if you do have an issue with that and you don't think that you can treat that patient, then you definitely need to pass it off to somebody else that can do that.
That's a good point.
As you can see, this can be a touchy, sensitive subject to talk about with patients. Just because of the nature of our practice, we have to get a lot of personal information out of patients to be able to treat them properly. Rule of thumb as far as dealing with the LGBT community would be, if you don't know, go ahead and ask. It's going to be a more respectful way, and to do so, trying to be as unbiased and using neutral terms as you can. Respect is what it comes down to. I think Andrea said it right when she talked about it earlier.
As you can see, this is an important issue that we deal with every day in the scope of our practice. It is something that we must take knowledge of and be aware of at all times so that we can provide the most complete and effective care to patients every day.